Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Whoa, whoa! Put that thing down. Right, what are you doing with that thing? That's dangerous.
I was celebrating the new Star Wars film in front of this camera.
Oh, The Last Jedi.
Yes.
Can I come review as well?
Oh. Star Wars: The Last Jedi tells the story right after The Force Awakens ended, with our heroes in flee of the Galactic Empire. I mean, the First Order. Two completely different things.
Yes, this continues the story of Rey as she goes to find Luke Skywalker and to start her training to be a Jedi. That's going on, and also you got Poe Dameron when Princess Leia, as a resistance, as you said, tries to flee away from the evil First Order.
I think you mean Galactic Empire.
I can't keep up. Just say the bad guys.
And leading our villains is the evil Kylo Ren, with a connection so strong with the bringing character that you can literally hear the slash fiction written as you watch it. Wait, can you hear that? Sound of 1,000 keyboards starting in earnest. It's only typing.
Let's get through it quickly before it gets worse. This film has had a very divided response from the fans. Not by the critics. A lot of critics have liked this film, but the fans have had a mixed response.
It's kind of like an opposite of a DC film these days.
I know. What gives?
What happens when you're owned by Disney?
But what do we think about it?
I loved it!
We loved it! Yeah, I loved it! Okay, yeah, let's go about the action. These are probably the best action sequences I've seen in a Star Wars film for a very long time. I mean, I really like these scenes, especially the Jedi lightsaber battles. There are lots of shots the Jedi, when they fight the lightsabers, where you see the full character, not from the waist up. You see the full, and you actually, so you get a better picture of them fighting.
On top of that, the fighting against the Crimson Guards, who are like the guards of Palpatine in the original trilogy. Now these guys look like badass samurai and have their own unique weapons. Like some got glaives, some got swords, one's got like Ivy from Soul Calibur's whip thing. It leads to a very interesting action scene.
Yeah.
And you can start to see like why Kylo Ren uses that type of lightsaber. It's very much like a broadsword, whereas the lightsaber feels a lot more like a katana in that it's very swift and elegant. Whereas his is like very powerful and brutal. It's a lot of very hard movements.
What I like about this is about Rian Johnson, he likes to make sure there's a great spectacle. Good action, but also what you see in front of you looks stunning. The final battle takes place on, is it called Kayat?
I think so.
Yeah. Basically, so whenever, say, if you walk on the land of it, you'll leave red footprints. When these spaceships go down, you can see red coming out everywhere, and it just looks amazing. Visually stunning.
It's like a planet that was designed by someone designing a fight scene. Hey, we've got these skimmers that go along the ground. What if the dirt that they kicked up was a different colour to the main dirt?
Yeah, and it really works. It looks because during that bit, that's just a build up to the what's going to happen. But that build up was just fantastic to look at. And even the space battles were great as well. There were great camera angles for the X-Wing. I mean, Rogue One has a really good one as well, but this looked great as well. And there's a scene with Poe. As you know, Poe is a very good X-Wing pilot, but here he gets to really show off how good he is as a pilot. No spoilers, but it makes you love the character.
Yeah, and I really do like that opening space battle where they're trying to take down the Star Destroyer that's trying to take out a bunch of ships using this new type of bomber that we haven't seen before, and they don't give it a name. It's just Resistance Bomber. So, okay, I'm going to call it a T-Wing.
We got U-Wing now, and now it's a T-Wing.
It's a T-Wing. I don't care if there's one in the Legends. There's a new T-Wing. Say hi to the T-Wing, everybody. It drops bombs. And that was a pretty interesting scene as well, just like how the mechanics of how this thing worked.
Yes.
And how it fit into the Star Wars universe.
What I like about that scene also is Rogue One touched upon this a bit, where you actually see the characters who are going to this war. I mean, because a lot, with the other Star Wars films, you see all the pilots, are calling in, and then they fight. But there's one character on that T-Wing, did you like to call it now, and it's only for a short amount of time, but you actually stay with her for a bit. And it kind of brings more emotion to that scene because makes you realise, yeah, these are people. They got lives outside of this war as well.
but it actually has another purpose as well, because like when you first see it, you think, oh, this is just some random character, like why should we care? And then you find out later on that she's actually related to another character, so this death that was lingered on has ramifications outside of that one scene.
Yes.
Take note, Game of Thrones, please. That's cool, just kill her off, we don't need it. Throw it out with the trash with the rest of the characters. Why would you spend a lot of time building up this whole thing and this...
One reason why I think it's one of the best Star Wars films is because it's all character. The characters move the story forward. The characters actually have arcs, don't they? And they are great as well. Poe Dameron, he has a great arc, and it makes you get to know the character a bit more, because we hardly saw him in The Force Awakens. He was just this pilot that was really good. But here you get to understand more of his personality, which is brilliant to see. Also Luke Skywalker. He has a really interesting arc. You understand more why he just ran away from everything that happened. Also, Kylo Ren. You've heard me say this before. I think Kylo Ren is an excellent villain. I loved him in Force Awakens. I loved his design. I just like the whole character overall, his personality, his backstory. But I love him even more now because of this film. You really get to know him as a character. Because when he Force Awakens, he was seen as that, oh, he's just a new Darth Vader. But there is a scene where Snoke says, take off that ridiculous mask. And it was like him saying, look at you, you're just a Darth Vader wannabe. And there's a lovely scene where he's seen in the trailers, this is where he smashes the helmet. And it's like, wow, okay, that is cool. Because throughout the whole movie, for the rest of the movie, he doesn't wear the mask at all. And the fact that he still has that amazing presence, he is a great villain, even without that mask.
It kind of goes on to what I said in my Force Awakens review, where it's kind of like the mask was kind of a shield for him, and he doesn't need that shield as much anymore.
No.
On top of that, I also mentioned in the last review that I didn't think that Rey was that great a character personality-wise, but everything that happened around her was interesting. Like the story that was going on there. And now she's tied to Kylo Ren, so there is like this unique relationship between the hero and the villain, which we don't see that often, and it's focused on in this film. It was there in the original trilogy as well, but not until after Empire Strikes Back, and we didn't have that many scenes between those, just one scene, and a lot of that was only really good in retrospect after watching the prequels. An entire film is developed to building up this connection between the two. Yes. And it really does lead to something different that we haven't seen in a lot of these films.
Absolutely, and this is why I really rate this film. There's a line where Luke Skywalker says this is not going to go the way you think, and it's true about the whole film in general. You do not know what's going to happen.
That actually segues into one thing that I want to say. This film is really unpredictable. Like, at the beginning, it kind of seems like, oh, they're running away from the Empire. It's like in Empire Strikes Back, where the Millennium Falcon spent the entire thing being chased by the Star Destroyer. Wait, why'd that happen? Wait, that character's doing what? Who? This didn't go the way I thought it would. Well,
and this is why I think some people are going to be disappointed by this film, because they're going to go in expecting this whole idea that they have had to happen because they think it's the right way for it to go. But no, it does something completely different for different sections of the story, and I think it makes it more enjoyable because you come out going, oh, wow, that took me by surprise. A bit like Empire Strikes Back. No one would have guessed that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father. So that took them way by surprise.
Dude, spoilers! This just it. They blew up the Death Star. We're just ruining everything today. On top of that, it kind of feels like they touched on not only stuff from Empire, but also stuff from Return of the Jedi. And everything ends in a way that you don't know where it's going next. Like, because they've trodden all the old ground, and in new ways. So there really is nowhere to go but in entirely new direction.
Yeah, and I'm rooting for J.J. Abrams for the next one, because he was criticised for making Force Awakens too close to A New Hope, but now I can't see how he can remake Return of the Jedi with the next installment, because, like you said, they've touched upon Return of the Jedi in it. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where 3's going, because even with Empire Strikes Back, I wonder if people, after they saw it first time, thought, I know what's going to happen. I know Luke's going to confront Vader. I'm sure some people thought that, but I can't imagine anyone thinking what's going to happen in this next one. So I'm really excited to see what happens next. And that's what you want from Star Wars. You want something new, something that's not predictable, somewhere you come out and go, I wonder what's going to happen next. For me, the comedy is on and off with this film. Majority of the time it does work, but there are other times where I thought that wasn't very necessary. And one scene in particular for me was the casino scene. There was a bit of slapstick in there that I thought just didn't work. I respect Rian Johnson for trying something. It wasn't as slapstick as Phantom Menace, say, or anything from the prequels. Not that bad.
We're not going into Jar Jar territory.
No, it's not Jar Jar territory at all, but it just felt like it was out of place, if you get me. It felt like that whole casino scene, for me, was a completely different tone to the whole, the rest of the film, personally. But BB-8, still funny, gets a lot of funny moments. The Porgs, they are not annoying at all. They're not the like new Jar Jar. They're not the new Ewoks. They're just, they're not even in it that much, are they?
Kind of pointless. But I want them all to be my friends.
Disney, yeah, I give in to you. I will buy a Porg. I'll buy all of them if I need to.
This review brought to you by Pogs. It's the new Pogs.
There's a really Chewbacca has a couple of funny scenes with Porgs. It's a great touch on silent comedy. There's one scene in particular where Chewbacca's, you know what you see it, but when Chewbacca's eating, and there's a Porg there, and I'll say nothing more than that. But I think it was a great scene, and it's good. Like you said about BB-8 with silent comedy, it was a bit like that as well.
Yeah, personally, I didn't feel like the comedy was distracting. In fact, I thought the comedy in this was awesome. I was laughing most of the way through it, except when I needed to be invested.
Yes.
And this film just gets that balance right of being able to laugh at the film, but at the same time actually caring about what's on screen. And it's a great mixture of comedy as well. Some of it is line delivery, just like what some of the characters say, especially Poe, and some of it is silent comedy. And for example, I disagree with you on the casino scene, where personally it kind of felt like just because like this is great, and then I look down and say, oh, this is actually a horrible place. And it felt like a great juxtaposition that underneath all this glitz and glamour there was something darker beneath that had to pay for all of that joy and fun.
I see what you mean there, but it was the way it was executed. I thought it was a bit it's slapstick. But yeah, I see what you mean there, and I completely agree with you that casino bit, because that is a pointless. I found first the casino scene is pointless, but it does come in, because after having talked with you, I thought actually you already got a point there, if you know what I mean.
We'll agree to disagree, kind of, sort of, on this one. And the last thing I want to talk about is the theming of the film, and just some of the ideas that the film explored. Mainly kind of exploring the Force as a balance between these two sides. And Luke says it himself, the Force doesn't belong to the Jedi, it's not good or evil, it's just how people use it, it's just kind of this balance in between everything. And there's a lot of symbolism for that as well, especially near the end, just to kind of help drive home this idea of this struggle that it isn't just good and evil, and it's shades of grey. And it ties into what Finn was going through when in the casino. Because there's this new character, I can't remember his name, DJ is it?
DJ, yeah.
Yeah. How come I can remember this one character's name but I can't remember anyone from Rogue One? But he brings it up that these people sold arms to the First Order, but also to the Rebels, and that there is two sides to every conflict. And it's all about that balance, and you can kind of see a possible way that this could go, that maybe these two sides have to come to a compromise. That maybe it's not just going to end with two lasers firing at each other.
Yeah, because with this film, it's not black and white, like as you touched upon there. There are bad people on the good guy side, there are good people on the bad guy side. It's that's why it's quite a layered film. You need to go away and think about it, and I will be going to see it again. I think it's one of those films where you need to see it again to fully appreciate what's going on. There is a lot to take in this film, isn't there? Because people have said it's complicated, but I don't think it's complicated. I think, like Empire, there's a lot going on, and you just need to just have time to think about it.
It also felt like the fights in this, it involved a lot more of the grander scale. Empire Strikes Back was very focused on the main characters.
Yes.
You brought it up before, we see a lot more from different people's perspective, and we see, like, from the perspective of the fleet and the rebellion trying to rebuild after this massive loss. Their fleet's been destroyed, and now they're on the run. So just kind of seeing where all that goes. It feels like there's greater consequences outside of the personal ones for our main characters. Mm-hmm. Anything else about it?
Anything else to add? No, I think we touched upon everything we need.
Alright, so for me, I love the characters. I love the action. I love how unpredictable it is. And I love the comedy. And I love the themes and ideas explored. So for me, 10 out of 10. Gotta be honest. In fact, this might just be better than Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion.
Wow.
I'm honestly... It's weird. I'm actually debating with myself why it isn't. I'm trying to struggle to say that Empire is better, but I'm finding it hard to think of reasons. Something about this film feels like it takes what was good about Empire and goes a little bit further. With the ideas explored and how well the comedy works. That's just personal for me, and just my own personal taste. This feels a lot more in touch with the kind of anime that I kind of like to watch, where it's very dark at times, but also very comedic. It just found that great balance, and that's ultimately what the film is about. So, I don't know, I'll have to do a top 9 list of Star Wars films.
Yes.
There is currently a battle in my head between 2 X-Wings trying to decide which film is better. So I'll get back to you on that.
I gotta say very quickly, I completely agree with you on the anime. There is definitely some anime influence going on in that film. Just with the colour, the actual shots that Ryan Johnson shows. Yeah, for me, I'm going to say that, well, I love the characters. I did like the arcs that we're going through. Like you said, the themes that were going on in it as well. The fact that it's layered, you have to go away and think about it to completely absorb it all in. In some aspects, I like the comedy. I like the fact that you did not know where it was going to go. It was highly unpredictable. So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I'm going to see it again because in my mind, I'm trying to battle whether I prefer this to Force Awakens. I am moving close towards The Last Jedi because it was more original and it was more character based. But yeah, I would say that Star Wars is still here, it's still fresh, it's still great, and I'm liking the fact that we've got Star Wars back.
And if you're one of those people who think that this is a bad film, I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
Like we said, it's all about compromise and balance.
Yeah.
You didn't like it? Fair enough. The old films are still there and you can enjoy them.
That's a good thing, isn't it? The original trilogy that everyone loves is still there.
Well, not the original one. Personally, but the special edition from anime. So,
but are you trying to say you don't like the version where Darth Vader goes no, whilst he's throwing?
I respect your opinion, except for liking that scene. That was stupid.
And what about the scene where Han shoots first? Greedo shoots first.
Greedo shot first. I don't know Greedo shot at all.
What?